All right, here we are. Season 4, episode 4. We've got Amy Schmittauer,
Hello.
the amazing Amy Schmittauer. How are you doing today?
Awesome, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Really, really cool to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking time to drop some vlogging knowledge on us today.
It's gonna happen.
It's going down.
It's going down.
So today we're talking about how to build a personal brand through vlogging, and I want to get into. You've got a book coming out, and it's called "Vlog Like a Boss: How to Kill It Online with Video Blogging." I want to get into that story, but first, I'm really curious because you've got a phenomenal online brand, and you've leveraged this through video pretty exclusively. I'm really curious to know about your story. How did you get started on that? Because I think there's an interesting story behind that.
It's always interesting, isn't it? Because how did somebody start making YouTube videos? So I've actually been a creator. It will be just about a week after the book comes out is my 10-year anniversary on YouTube. So it's been a long time. I started initially just sort of for fun. It was something I discovered. I tell the story in the book of the first video I ever made was for a bride. I was one of her bridesmaids. And long story short, I found out the power of video and I just found out about YouTube. Oh, look, I can upload stuff and share it. Great. It was not like this grand scheme to be YouTube famous or anything, but I did start to observe some of the veterans that were there and I really loved it and started sharing my life. That's how it started. I went to school for political science. I was working in policy. I thought that was how life was going to pan out. I got the job. I had a great job. I had a great cushy chair and 401k and all the things. And but I was having fun with video. And what happened closer to 2009 and 2010 was that people were coming to me and saying, this is crazy that you know how the internet works and you're actually using video. We're just hearing we need to have a Facebook page. What does it mean? What does it all mean? And so it sort of became a side hustle. I wasn't calling it at the time. It actually, for me, it was more of a passion project because I wanted to come home from work and work more on nights and weekends and help these small businesses with their Facebook because it was so fun for me. I couldn't believe people got paid for it. So that's how it really started. And I had that side hustle for about a year and a half. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to do this all the time. I don't want to go to this other job anymore that I used to love. And I still love the place and I love the people and I love the work, but it's not it for me. So I just took the leap. And so that was in early 2011. And that's when I started the channel Savvy Sexy Social on YouTube because that's my platform that I specifically needed to let people know that I was a thought leader in this space and that they should listen to me and they should hire me. And so that's what I did. That was really the beginning of it. And now 650 plus videos later, the channel is still kicking. So
I'm amazed. I mean, it seems like I always get an update from YouTube on a new video from you. So you've been consistently consistent at putting out really good quality stuff. Like it's not just you hit record and hit stop and then published it. I mean, you're adding some editing, you're adding some graphics. So I'm extremely impressed.
The goal at the beginning was, you know, when you go into a space and we all have that moment where we're like, wow, there's a lot of people that want to do or are doing what I want to do or do, whatever. And so for me, that was, how do you become a social media marketing thought leader? Well, pretty much everyone in the space right now, God love them, they're still around and they're killing it, but they could get on video and click record and talk for 10 minutes, no edits, no lighting, nothing nice. And people would hang on their every word, but their blog was the reason they got to where they were and they're great writers, or their podcast is the way that they are. And they're incredible at that. For me, I just thought, what do I have going for me? I figured out how to make trips to Target fun on a personal YouTube channel. If I can do that, I can tell a story about anything. So I can certainly make the small business that's coming to me and saying, oh, Facebook, and I can make that fun for them. And by doing that, you know, you integrate a little bit of editing and you make it fun. And we're not going to be suit and tie, green screen, and really dry. We're going to have fun with this because you should be having fun with it because it's your business. This is your baby. You should want to have fun talking about it. So that was the goal. And that's literally the reason anybody knows who I am today, because I found a way to stand out differently than the other thought leaders. Too many people copy somebody and say, if I just follow that path, I'll win. For me, I said, I want to get there, but how I do it and how I do it best is the way I need to zero in. So even though video may not be the forte of everybody else, it was for me. And now I'm trying to teach it because it's more accessible than ever. It was a huge advantage back then to be an editor in video because we didn't have apps to do it for us or Adobe Spark to make it drag and drop. And so that's what I did. I just want to point that out because it doesn't matter what that thing is for you. You have to know what you do better than anyone else so that you can find your differentiator. And so that's all I did. And it's working out because everybody keeps saying it's the year of video every single year. So here I am.
Amy, where's that point, I guess, in your 10 years where you knew it clicked and it's like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to go do. This is where I'm super passionate and you knew you could make this a career or...
Well, here's where the big click of all the things came together. I was already side hustling. I was taking on the clients. I was doing the work in my nighttime. Like I had fun with it. I was doing it for extra money. I enjoyed it because people were paying me for it. And I thought this could be a thing, but whatever. I want everything right now. I like having my cushy job and my health insurance. And I also like having this extra money. And I like to play on the internet and get paid for it. So that's essentially what was happening. But I knew that if it was going to be anything passionate or an actual career, that I needed to continue to self-educate. Because if I didn't go to school for marketing, which who cares because they weren't teaching this, if I didn't go to school for marketing, I have zero experience. Getting those first clients was a miracle of God. So how am I going to continue to grow this thing? So essentially, and this is a great tip for anybody that's like struggling with the concept of doing free work. My first client was not paid. I went to them and I said, look, you need me and you don't have to pay me. I'm just going to crush it for you because I have zero experience. And it was awesome because it was a local magazine that had just started. Magazines, they don't make any money. So it was a perfect scenario, but they had content for days. Yeah. And so I represented them on their Facebook page, but I went back to them and as my first client, they were valuable. And as a testimonial, they were valuable and I did a good job for them. But I went to them and I said, look, I have scrounged up my extra money and my vacation time to go to a conference. I just can't afford the $800 badge. If you guys help me and you sponsor me, then I can go and I can be a better representative for you continually for free. And I'll be a better consultant going forward. So that's like a short story and a big story that the conference changed everything. When I immersed myself with people that thought like me, knew more than me, made me smarter, but I got to find out that I was on the right track, that I was doing good things and I could do it even better. And I had all the ability and the knowledge to do that. That was it. That was October of 2010 when I went to Blog World and I walked away from that conference going, I got to leave my job. And I did by the beginning of the next year.
Amazing.
So, go ahead, Phil.
And you've definitely come a long way. So you've now written a book and it comes out January 31st. Title of the book is Vlog Like a Boss, How to Kill It Online with Video Blogging.
Yep.
How'd you get there? Tell us the story between October 2010 to your story, or if it goes beyond that as well.
Well, here's like the big connector of like, why does the girl that makes videos write a book? Because I find it to be fascinating. I was sitting there writing that book the whole time and going like, shouldn't I be making a movie or something? Like this makes no sense. So, but I wrote the book because of something that really interestingly happened to me as a video creator, which, in short was I figured out how to talk really well. And so what that ended up being is you build your thought leadership and you learn how to talk really well. And if you know what you're talking about, you can talk about it for days, which you can clearly tell. And people started calling me and asking me to speak. And I was like, I literally make videos in my bedroom. What gives you the impression that I can speak on a stage? But it turns out I could. Because something really cool happens when you know your thing so well and you can get on stage and talk about it fast, furiously, or at the pace that you need to. You just know your stuff. And that's powerful these days on stage is we don't need any more slide readers. We need people to talk about what they know and say it in a really powerful way. So people will feel activated because they're now in this immersive environment. And I want them to feel the same impact that I felt when I was at Blog World. And I was like, I got to go do this thing. This is so cool. So I found out really quickly I was a speaker and I just kept getting asked to speak. And it's just a fundamentally stupid thing for a speaker to not have a book because when everybody sees you speak, they're like, we want to buy your book, because for some reason, that's the connection people make. They go, you have so much information in your head. I want it in a comprehensive guide that I can read. And I'm like, I make videos, go watch it. They're free. They're on YouTube. Go watch the videos. It doesn't matter. People wanted a book. And when people tell you what they want to buy, you make it. So that's like the story. Like, I'm just being real about it. I think it also makes mom super proud, and dad, that my face is on a book, but I haven't found a great way to do comprehensive for my audience in a way that they will be able to afford it, other than a couple of really small packaged products. I think a book opens up that opportunity, and I have a whole lot to say, so I had no problem filling up the pages.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all great stuff too. I think that's a remarkable thing. It's not just that you've been producing video for a long time on YouTube. It's that the content is actually really phenomenal and really good and provides a lot of value. So well done. So this podcast, our listeners are salespeople from all different walks of life. Some of them are entrepreneurs who are selling a product. They're pitching investors. Others are new into into selling things, products and services. Others are more tenured. The direction that I want to go for the rest of our conversation, Amy, is why do salespeople need to produce video? Why is it important for them to produce video, to do blogging, and so on?
Well, here's the bottom line. I mean, when we say year after year after year that it's the year of video, that's true. And the reason is because that's progressively been the statement more than it's the year of Facebook, or it's the year of YouTube, or it's the year of Twitter, or whatever. The platforms matter. They're very important because they host everything. But what you'll notice is that no matter what platform is getting people's attention these days, video is all you see. So in order to have an effective presence in all these places, you need to go to the party dressed to go to the party. So if you go to the party that is Facebook, and the Facebook party is having nothing but video content all over the feed, and you want to fit in, and clearly Facebook's elevating video content, okay, great. Well, if we want a little bit of organic reach that we're going to get and not have to pay for it, we should probably make video instead of trying to post a link to our blog or whatever the case may be. You have to remember that these guys are running things in the background, and they want certain types of content because they read the audience. They have read the entirety of the user base of Facebook for you to tell you that all the Facebook user base wants is more video. So that's really what we're talking about. If you're going to go to the party and be dressed the way you should be dressed at the party, you're using video right now because everyone's using video. 5 minutes ago, Twitter just rolled out live as if it's a brand new thing. They also own Periscope. So it's like, what? So now Twitter's got live. Instagram just went live. Snapchat's probably right around the corner. I mean, we're recording this in December, but everyone is doing video. That is the main feature of all content on all social networks right now. That is why it's continuing to be the year of video, and that's why you can't avoid it anymore. Not to mention the fact that it's completely accessible, and you can literally just use a phone to make all of it. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
What's going to be the benefit? Let's say you've got a salesperson who's been successful so far to date in their sales career. What they've done so far without video has worked. What is the compelling reason why they should start now, even though they've had some relative success to date?
That's an interesting way of phrasing it. I think if something's working, you don't want to break it, right? But at the same time, how is it working? So my curiosity in that situation, if someone is saying to me like, my lead funnel is full, I am good to go, I am closing all the sales, I'm the top salesperson, couldn't be happier, don't want any more business, don't make video. So that's how I feel about it. But if you're saying my social media presence is crushing it without video, then awesome. I would love to hear what's going on. And I'm sure that's possible because we see things like Pinterest. Like if you're posting video on Pinterest, you're missing out on what actually works on Pinterest because video is not it. But if your presence rocks without video, then great. We can track all of that. We can go in and see actually if you got any customers from Facebook or all you did was get likes. So if you're saying it's crushing it, what's your metric for success? That's more my curiosity, because I would want to know how we could make it even better with video. Because I just don't think there are very many people actually saying that. Like, I'm really good. I'm making, so much money. I don't even know what to do with it. So like, really don't need video. If that's true, or, usually the question is, my audience is not online. Why would I make video? And to that, I just say like, ooh, that's just lazy. Like, the reality is the odds that your audience is not online in some capacity is so slim that you're just not looking at it. But if you're saying that, like, having people write their email address on a pad of paper when they come into the store so you can follow up with them that way, that's how you communicate and that's all you have to do. If that's working for you, awesome. But do you want more business or not? Do you want people to not know that don't know who you are to come in or not? I just think people kind of like stop because they just assume they don't have any more time or any more ability to scale some of their marketing effort. And they just say, it's working. We don't need to do it. What's the big deal? Just do it. Just try it. Just see what happens. It might be pretty incredible.
I think one of the things that I heard a lot when I worked for a video email company was that it's intimidating to get in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. They don't like how they sound. They don't like how they look. They realize that maybe they don't sound as good as they imagined. Do you get that often? And what do you tell people?
I get that very often because I'm an amazing time on camera. So immediately people, I'm kidding. No, I mean, but that is true. When you come into contact with somebody and you're like, oh, well, it's so easy for you. Look, you're just so cute and fun. And I'm not fun. I get that question a lot. There's always the showman, especially when I speak in the audience. And that's like, I wear a suit and tie. I'm not fun. And they're asking this question. And I'm like, you're literally putting on a show right now. You're putting on a show for this whole audience. The way you're asking me the question of, I don't even have the right personality for video, but all I did was do what you just did in front of a device. You did it in front of 800 people. That's frustrating for me because people can do it if they want to. And so the first thing I'll say is this: if your message isn't worth telling, don't make video. If your message is worth telling, figure out how to talk to a camera. The second thing I will say is, if your message is worth telling, then you know one person that really should hear it. And that is the one person you should be thinking about. What's their name? What's their hair color? Just picture them. You're sitting down, you're having a cup of coffee with them. I'm sitting down with Sean. I'm talking to Sean. I'm only talking to Sean. I'm talking to the lens of a camera right now. I can see Sean shaking his head, but I'm talking to a lens. And I know I'm talking to Sean because I'm talking to Sean. But if you sit down in front of a camera and do two things that are completely unnatural, one, talk to a camera, that's not natural. Or two, talk to 100,000 people, that's also not natural. You're not going to be good on camera. But if you visualize the camera like it's Sean, or it's the person, or it's Phil, or it's some one person, you're going to be way more effective than you ever could have been. That's the biggest obstacle that people have to get over when they are not good on camera. Because you may judge your voice or judge your appearance and judge your hair and judge your, trust me, I do all those things. It doesn't matter that I've made 1,000 videos. I still do those things. But if I feel like I'm in the room with someone and that person feels that with me, and even though I made a video for however many subscribers or viewers, but somebody watched and was like, that was for me. She made that for me. That's how you know you did it right. If you simply focus on that one thing, you will get better in addition to practicing. And I actually talk in the book about how to develop your talent with video. And that's certainly part of it. But there are also 3 total keys to this. It's specializing, reading, and practicing. Specializing means get super focused on what you're good at, because that's the only thing you should be talking about on video. Reading means that whole process I just made. I defined Sean in my head and I'm talking to him. And I know that person so well, I'm always going to be talking to him. And then you practice. If you don't hit publish on everything every time, you can throw 1 or 2 away because they were awful. But do them again and try again, because you won't get better if you don't put it out into the world and actually find out what people think about it. You just won't.
So think about, I'm a sales guy, I'm sitting at my desk, I want to send a video to a prospect or a customer of mine. what tools do you recommend? What software do you recommend? What's the best medium for me to start communicating with somebody on a one-to-one level, and then maybe a one-to-many level as well?
So, and I'm a huge fan of email. So much to the point where, I partner with Aweber a lot, and they actually are the platinum sponsor of my book. My book's about video, and Aweber is my sponsor. And that's because all of these tools matter in how you communicate. Video is so impactful. Video one-to-one, incredible. So figuring that out, one-to-one can also be one-to-many. So to your point, we've got the option of sending an email to one person and making a video for them. That doesn't mean that the video dies for that one person. It might be an idea for a new one, or it might be one that you can do kind of evergreen so that they know it was for them because you made it for them, but it might be something you can use later. I certainly recommend that. YouTube, you can do that. And you can use an unlisted privacy level, which is great, because what that does is I made something just for you. Here's the link to it. You can see that it's just for you because there's one view on it. And I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel so that you'll see that that exists, and you'll also see I have some other resources there. So that's an option. I love that. And then you use your personal email however you email people. But I also like to make something that just feels personal to my email subscribers, right? So if I make a video special for my email subscribers, it's going to be unlisted. So just my email subscribers can see it. And I'll create that thing that's got a specific messaging for those people that they need to know. Hey guys, I just discovered this today. I knew you had to hear about it. You're my people, so I told you first. Here's a private video just for you. Go check it out. Again, you're getting people back to the channel. It may not be a public video, but they feel like they got something special, and it was special for them. And they get back to the YouTube channel, and they might start to grow that presence a little bit more. I love pumping as much energy into getting people on your email list as possible, and then redirecting them back out to social. Because if you prioritize social first, when people already know you and love you, and now we need them to commit a little bit, then you might lose an opportunity to do what really matters, which is that email list. Get them on the email list, and then as a way of continuing the relationship, you may not always have something for them to buy. You may not always have something for them to go read, but you can certainly say like, hey, just posted this over here on YouTube. I would love it if you would go like it. My group on email is called Amy's Elite. Like Amy's Elite, swarm that like button and go hit it, because I know you guys approve of my stuff, and that social proof outside for people who don't know who we are yet is huge. So use that as an opportunity, because they'll advocate for you. So there's so much you can do. I went on a million tangents in that answer, but I think the thing here is video one-to-one. It should always feel that way, whether it is or not. Allow yourself to do it in all the different ways. Make sure you're finding ways to benefit yourself here and there. I'm going to post this in a YouTube unlisted, so they'll see that I also have a presence there, or whatever the case may be. But do video. And even if your first videos are the ones you make personally for one person, actually, like I'm going to email one person this email only, that's a great way to start, because it's going to be very personal.
So I think by the way, I love the tangent. It was perfect answer. So going into if I'm a salesperson, there's a lot of talk now about personalization and bringing personalization into the sales process and getting away from this batch and blast. I'm going to send 1,000 emails to 1,000 people and hope I get one response. Isn't that going to take a lot of time, right? That's probably, you may have mentioned that a little bit earlier in the podcast, but isn't that going to take me a lot of time? How much time should I invest in creating a one-to-one video?
Here's how I think of it. My dad is in car sales, and in car sales, in certain organizations, they require a number of cold calls. And so I guess what I find fascinating is that there's some sort of investment coming from upper management for cold calls when nobody wants cold calls. Like literally nobody wants cold calls. We know that they work on some level, but we can all agree nobody wants them. So with that in mind, think about all the time you could be cold calling someone, or you could have made the time to go over your list of warm leads or previous customers and create something specialized just for them, just to make them feel like you're thinking of them, just to keep you top of mind. Doesn't that do something more impactful for the salesperson that's feeling the burn of the cold call situation and how awful that is, but to nurture a relationship in a different way. How is that a waste of time? Like, I just find that so fascinating. As a matter of fact, I'm sort of obsessed with like the return customer idea. Not only should we have and you guys probably know this better than me, but we don't hear enough about this in marketing, that you have you might have a list of leads, you might have a list of current customers, and you've got your list of previous customers. And those previous customers, doesn't matter if they've graduated past whatever they bought from you or whatever they needed from you, they should be hearing from you on a somewhat regular basis, because they will be your greatest salespeople. Just you. They will forward that email to somebody that was, oh, that's so funny. I work with an interior designer, and one of our ideas was, it doesn't matter if you did someone's kitchen. They might have talked to somebody who came into their kitchen and was like, oh, I need a new kitchen. And when you send out an email showing off your latest new kitchen, the person whose kitchen you did forwards that email to their sister who wants a new kitchen. Let them sell for you. So I think that's where my head is. I would rather work on the network that I already have, because I've lived so many years on this earth. I may have met a few people. Let's work on the people we know and just find out how we can help them, because they will sell us for us. As soon as you remind them that you exist, if there's an opportunity, they will sell you. I think that's way worth your time for those one-on-one videos than this cold call, which is not the poll. I know that there are many options in between, but let's just compare those two.
I agree, and I think you'll find that both Phil and I are on the same track with that. One of the ways that you've done well in what you're doing is create valuable content. So I participated in the vlog every day in August, past August, which I thought was an incredible challenge, very enriching, but also it just made me think differently about what my capacity is to create video content. So it really opened up my eyes. You did a good job with people who signed up for that, with scheduling out topics, as well as just creating a whole calendar for everyone. So talk to the salesperson who is bought into the value. They see the value in creating video. They see the value in producing content. But where do you recommend that they start? Once they understand that and are bought into the idea of creating content and leveraging video?
I'm really glad that you brought up Veda for that very reason, because if we're talking about just getting started, we don't want to find ourselves in a scenario where we're looking at our big scary camera and we're making the video for our about page. Like, oh my God, I've never talked to this thing before, and now it's going on the second most visited page on my website. And that's scary. So the reason why I like Veda, or whatever, get your own version of Veda. Right now, actually, during the holidays, there's Vlogmas, and a lot of people will vlog for 25 days. And the reason for that is we don't need your crappy first video to be the most important video you ever make. And you're going to feel like the first video you ever make is the most important video you ever make, because it's such a groundbreaking experience. So the reason why Veda works, and what's funny is it's something that happens on YouTube for years now. It's been happening, Veda. But the reason I started doing it is because if I'm trying to encourage people to start making video, they shouldn't be making their first video on something that is super hefty like that needs to convert things, that needs to make things happen. If you've never talked to a camera before, please, dear God, don't do that. And so Veda was important because I gave people permission to talk about things like, day 2, what's your favorite color? Day 3, what's your favorite, where's your favorite place to go on vacation? Just talk about something and put it out into the world somewhere. Do it with a bunch of other people who are doing it at the same time and who might also suck and are going to be better at the end of 30 days, and just try it. And so that's really, like I said, SRP practice. That gives you 30 practice rounds. Opportunities. If everyone's always like, oh, I missed a day, do I have to quit? No, are you kidding me? That defeats the entire purpose. Just keep going. Just publish something. And this is why I like Snapchat and Instagram stories, because it's like literally the clips are 10 seconds long and you're talking to your phone. You talk to your phone all the time anyway. So just do that. That's a great practice round. Get used to looking at the lens of a camera and not yourself and the reflection, and find out what it's like to do that and practice. And that's why I like Veda. Literally, how do you get started? Just get started. You're going to need a plan. pretty soon. But if you can't talk to a camera effectively, like it's a person, it's not going to go well for you, but that takes practice.
Agree. I think that's fantastic. Platforms, you've rattled off some of them throughout our conversation today, but can you just walk through some of the various platforms that you can do video with, and maybe some pros and cons, or maybe some of the things that you like about some of those major platforms?
Totally. Well, let's just talk about the giants. So YouTube is just incredible, but I'm biased. You know, I've been on YouTube for almost 10 years, and YouTube is huge mostly because of search. So if we think about YouTube, we've got to think about search. Now, there are many other possibilities with YouTube, but search and, you know, just getting referred, just the way things are changing on YouTube, it's a little confusing about how you subscribe to someone, and you can subscribe, but how do you actually get that video? They really want to customize the experience for you, just like Facebook. You notice you see a lot of the same stuff when you go to Facebook. It's going to be the same thing on YouTube when you use it for a while, because they want you to be happy when you get there so they can make more money and you'll stay there. So with YouTube, that's great, but it can be a little bit harder to grow without some momentum coming from somewhere. So there's a disadvantage there. If you upload to YouTube, just because you built it doesn't mean they will come. You can't hit the front page of search on a video that has 2 views. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't even matter how low competition that term is. So you've got to have some momentum there. You can get it from other places. It doesn't mean you can't grow. Obviously, send your email list over. Hey guys, just published a YouTube video. Would love it if you would subscribe, because guess what? It's a brand new presence and I'm struggling. Just be real about it. So there's that. But the key thing here is the other giant, right? It's Facebook. Facebook's great because discoverability is incredibly possible with how much people love to share things over there. But it's an entirely different animal, because when you look at YouTube, you upload a video, you have a headline, which is your title, and you have a thumbnail, which is a still image. That's what's going to sell your video. On Facebook, you're, you know, checking out what your friends are doing. You might be stalking your ex, and all of a sudden a video shows up in your timeline and it just starts playing. No audio. And it better be really good if it's going to stop you from stalking your ex, because you've got other stuff to do here. Ads to click on, groups to go check out, notifications. It's the worst place to watch a video on the planet. But all you have to do is get someone's attention with what's going on. No title. No even thumbnail needed. You could just upload a video. And as long as it plays and it pulls someone in. But the difference there is Facebook, that's an unintentional view. You have to pull people in with the actual content really quickly, or you lose them and you get some inflated view number, because if the video played for 3 seconds on the feed and you let it sit there for 3 seconds but didn't really watch it and you let it go by, you just gave them a view. But what does that mean to them? They're like, yay, views, but nobody actually watched it. YouTube is different. You sell them with the title and the thumbnail, but someone intentionally clicks that word play. And when they do that, you have a longer period of time to kind of pull them in. It's on average about 8 seconds before somebody's like going to stay or go. And by stay, I mean on average half the video if you did a good job. Hopefully they'll stay to the end. But the competition on Facebook's even worse, because they've got notifications and all these things pinging, and they got there on accident. So those are a lot of things to think about. If you're a talking head like me, a lot of the times I'm just sitting in front of my bookshelf just chatting, and I'm a great time, but you've got to have audio on to find that out. On Facebook, you wouldn't have a clue if I'm just talking to the camera and all you see is, and nothing is coming audio-wise. I have to pull you in visually. That's why we see, you know, service people come home from abroad and they run into their kid's school and they surprise their kid, and the teacher's like, oh my God, that's visually compelling. That pulls you in. You want to watch that video every time. If you can't pull people in visually on Facebook, you fail. On YouTube, you just got to get them to click play, and then you can pull them in however is appropriate there. 2 different things. So those are just 2. There's so many different options. Those 2 take a little bit of work. You can get on Snapchat right now with your smartphone and do nothing really crazy, because they want you to do raw content. They don't want you to upload anything over there, because they basically make it impossible. So just letting people see behind the scenes. Instagram, same thing with stories, but the photos and the videos there are a little bit different too, because it's a higher class of content over there. People want to see visually beautiful things. Every social network is a party. You've got to wear the right thing to the party. And so how do you do that? How do you dress your content to fit? How does it work? That's the thing. There's so many options for video. Twitter is doing live video now. I mean, like, there's so many options. You just have to know where your audience is, what they want to know, how you can best talk about that on video, and then put it in that place the way they want it.
Amy, it has been incredibly insightful. So pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
So hopefully everybody else feels like Sean and I and thought you were a crazy good time. Where do we find you? And more importantly, how do we find your book?
All of the above. Just go to vloglikeaboss.com. Vlog as in V as in video, vloglikeaboss.com. You'll find out how to follow me and absolutely how to pick up the book, hopefully. If you feel like video is at all in your future, it's a very YouTube rich in terms of content book, but I talk about all the other platforms as well. The key thing here is, as practical as you may have seen me be here today, it's my middle name. So that's what the book is. The book is a guide. Go get it, and you're going to be activated very quickly on how to get started. So vloglikeaboss.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Thanks so much, Amy. We really appreciate you being on. I learned a ton of new things on this episode. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and wish you all the best success with this book.
Thank you, Sean and Phil. This was really fun. So thank you.
All right. Thanks so much.